Hey Sagittarians, how y'all doing? Welcome. We're going to be doing your second half of September general reading here. Now, before I get into the meditation, just a couple of quick announcements. My Be Your Own Intuitive course is now open for registration. All of that info is over on my website. It's going to be a grand old time. There's going to be partner work, and we're going to meet every week for about an hour and a half and really just like talk about everything, every question you could have about your intuition, your relationship to it. It should be a really good time. I'm excited about it. Also, I now have a newsletter. Really loving working on these. I'm going to do a monthly book recommendation, my current obsession, whether that's a tarot deck or album or film, monthly animal energy, really loving it. All of that information is over on my website, which is listed in the description box below. I would love to see you guys over there. Okay, let's talk about this meditation. The first word that I want to say to you is wolf. Yes, wolf. Also, wild versus domesticated. Let's talk about this. I was taken through some very distinct werewolf sort of imagery, which if we think about the origin of the werewolf myth and legend, what is that really about? It's about us as humans, right? The aspect of ourself that has been domesticated, right, over time, right? It's that tamed versus untamed, that domesticated versus the wild, right? I saw the image of Professor Lupin from Harry Potter, okay? For those of you who don't know, he was a werewolf, right? And I saw him in the classroom at Hogwarts, going, these are the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s, and writing everything down on a chalkboard, and then the moon sort of beckoning him, and that push and pull between living a life inside of a classroom, right, versus being at, even when he was human, right, it was kind of this, it never quite fit in the way that it did some of the other professors that didn't have that aspect of themselves, that longed to be free and in the wide open spaces and to howl at the moon. There's an aspect of that, right? It feels very, very pertinent for you guys right now. There's this aspect of allowing yourself to be unabashedly who you are. And I'm talking about even those aspects of you that others would consider to be, or even you may even consider to be, untamed. Because I also saw this, the image from Lord of the Rings, where it was like, the orcs have gone unchecked and unchallenged in these territories. And I feel like that's what your advice is. Allow yourself to be unchecked and unchallenged in the territories. For the second half of September, there's this aspect of longing to be free, or, oh my God, I'm obsessed. Longing to be free, this need to completely just remove any restrictions or boundaries, whether those are self-imposed or externally imposed upon you, whether looking at conditioning around how you were raised, what is a good girl, what is a good boy, what does that look like? What does productivity look like? What does success look like? It's like this wild aspect of just wanting to be completely free of all of that and sort of reinvent and also challenge yourself around the way that you see yourself and your relationships with others, right? I'm also hearing the word guilt and shame, really looking at the aspects of like, however you spend your time or a certain day or however you relate to other people, what is considered to be appropriate, what is considered to be constructive. Really, maybe take a second, third, or fourth look at that, right? Peacock here. I'm obsessed. Peacock is very much allowing yourself to be seen. This is a lot of pomp and circumstance. It just is. But what's really fascinating about this is that the peacock is my personal symbol outside of the crow, of course, but more specifically, the peacock for me is about allowing your intuitive gifts to be out loud and proud, but also allowing the aspects of yourself that are uniquely you to be out loud and proud. Because that's the peacock. Peacock's a bit of a show boat, right? It's like, don't hide the feathers, don't domesticate this realness. Allowing yourself to be seen. I just got shivers. Whatever that looks like, however you show up, right? It just, come as you are and do it in a way that's a grand entrance, honey. You know, those around you, as you know, if you accept this opportunity and invitation, as it were, to allow yourself to be seen, even those aspects of you that you may have kept hidden or under wraps or only allowed a few select people to see, it's going to be this lovely effect of being able to weed out or release the people in your life or even the aspects of yourself that are not authentic, right? Because if you are never truly yourself, if there are aspects of yourself that you tame or filter or alter to fit in or to be in alignment with other people's ideas of you or even your ideas of yourself, right? And it's like, how do you know that the people around you and even yourself to and with and for yourself are living your most authentic energy, right? We're talking about freedom. And we have the death key showing up for you here in the first position. So this is Scorpio energy. This is major. This is transformation, right? I love how this condor is just sitting on the guts, right? Sitting on the guts of things. I feel like this is, I mean, we're talking about tamed versus untamed. Hello, look at this. Do you know the condor gets such a bad rap? It's such a, like, oh my gosh, like, it just has this feeling of unwanted, and they pick up the scraps that nobody else wants. And we're talking about tamed versus untamed and werewolf, and think about the mythology behind werewolf as well. Going out under the full moon and just like going for it and eating and just it's purging as well. Because when the werewolf transforms, it is literally purging its human aspects of itself in favor of the wild unknown or the untamed aspects, right? I'm channeling this too. There's a book called Women Who Run with Wolves by Clarissa Pinkoles Estes. I am channeling that so very much right now for you guys. So definitely consider giving that a read or a listen on Audible. I love Audible. They didn't pay me to say that either. So this is significant. There's a transformation afoot. And I do feel like it's rooted in connecting with, the authentic you. And I do feel like some of you, there may be some room for surprise here as well. Another way into this is to observe yourself. Observe yourself before allowing these changes or this freedom to be implemented, right? Because we have to see ourselves clearly before we can really, know what is truly going on. There's this energy of the experiencer and the observer, right? The experiencer, I feel like, is the wolf or the werewolf aspect, right? Where you're just in the moment. The wolf is like smelling things and looking for its, next meal, and it's howling at the moon. Then you have the observer, which is you in your human body form, right? Taking note of how you react to things, maybe when you react as opposed to respond to things, right? Something in that. So we have the Three of Pentacles here, which I'm really obsessed with, because the Three of Pentacles is you being acknowledged and compensated for what you uniquely are good at. Because look at this giraffe here. I almost said ostrich. Look at this giraffe here, right? This is a very unique look that the giraffe has going on, right? There's no other animal. You cannot mistake this for any other animal, which, by the way, at a distance could happen with the condor, right? But just like the peacock, there's no going, is that a buffalo or a bison? Is that a this or a that? There is no mistaking these two animals. It's like, that is a peacock, that is a giraffe, right? You're being asked to step into what makes you, what is your unique contribution to the world? What about you is specific and unique to you? Why are you here? What are you here to do? What are you here to contribute? Right? There's something in that. You're being asked to not, and some of you may be clear on that already. Beautiful. What are you going to do about it? Some of you may not be so clear on that, and it's about taking the time to allow yourself to observe the reality of what that is within and for you, right? Yeah, it may require some of you to break through some social constructs or conditioning about, what is productive or what is worth doing, right? Wow, this is cool. Oh my God, I had a feeling this would happen. Remember when I saw the Three of Pentacles and I almost said ostrich, and then we have the ostrich? I had a feeling. I just had a feeling that was going to come up. So we have the Knight of Wands here, beautifully depicted by this ostrich energy here. I'm really obsessed with this because, first of all, showing up in your reading as the Knight of Wands is really lovely because it is an active energy, but also there's this thing about appearances here. I'm obsessed because, okay, so the ostrich, do you know why it hangs its head down like that? So from far off, predators will only see this much, right? As opposed to if it's had its head up and lifted, it only sees this. So the predators are like, oh, that's a big feathery rock. Nothing to see here. Moving on, right? So it's very clever in that way. But again, do you see how we're going back to this, how things appear to be also a very distinctive looking animal? You do not mistake ostrich for any other animal. Variations on a theme, people, variations on a theme. But I do feel like there's an aspect here too of, the power of the ostrich comes from the legs. These are lethal. You would never necessarily know that by looking at it, right? So I also feel like there's some advice about how you use your personal power and to use it wisely, right? Something about that. Okay, let me just put an example out there. This is an example. So let's say that you are a particularly gifted empath. Because we got the peacock here too. So empath, right? Which means that you feel other people's feelings as your own, which means you always know how people are feeling and often what they're thinking about you or feel about you or other people, right? So using that personal power wisely would be having the discernment to know when something is your business and when it's not, when to speak on something and when to keep it to yourself. Again, back to this werewolf versus human, right? And I do feel like there's an aspect here of finding the medium between the two, which is not editing or altering yourself, but living authentically from a place of high discernment, right? So we have the Six of Pentacles here, which is altruism, and I'm so obsessed that it's the rabbit and the snake, because snake I also equate with Scorpio energy. So I love that it's coming up to clarify the death key. The Six of Pentacles is very much about, I'm obsessed with this because traditionally it's about give and take. It's about reciprocity. It's also about being a benefactor and generous, not just to others, but to yourself as well. We have the snake here, which represents transformation, the shedding of the old skin to come into the new. Again, it's like variations on a theme, people, with this werewolf realness. The rabbit is also very much about fertility and cycles, right? Because they are associated with birth. And then we have the death key, which is about rebirth. Heller. But also, again, if you think about the Six of Pentacles traditionally, right? It's the dude holding the scales and giving out, needed supplies and food and generosity and coin and presents, right? To those who need it. So there's that dual aspect as well, right? Oh my God. This feels, okay, I'm just going to say this. Sometimes a reading comes through like this, and it feels so particular, meaning it does not feel arbitrary. It feels like you are being prepped. Because if you're being asked to be your most authentic self and untamed and let the wolf roam free, but know when to be in your human space as well, right? Experiencer versus observer. It feels like you are being, what are they showing me? They're showing me a particular book. Okay. There is a particular book by Erin Morgenstern. Oh my God. I really hope I can remember the correct name of it. But there's a book by Erin Morgenstern. I believe it was her second novel after Night Circus, where it's like Sea of Stars or Ocean of Starlit Sea or something. Please leave it in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. Thank you. Please and thank you. But there was an aspect of that book where people would be observed by this secret magical society, and only if they passed the test would they be alerted to the existence of said society. There's something here about this. It's almost as if you are... Okay, there's an opportunity afoot. It feels like a soul marker or an opportunity for a certain sort of, it does feel like an upgrade, but I don't even want to judge it in that way and make it in a, qualitative aspect and just go, there's an opportunity here afoot. And how you move through this given time, the more yourself you can be while showing discernment, is going to dictate what happens next for you. And I do feel like this is like a soul reading that I'm tapping into here. It feels more significant than just second half of September. It does. It feels like you are being observed by the celestial forces, by your higher self, by your guides, going, okay, how are they going to handle this next series of opportunities and challenges that come their way? Are they going to do it? Are they going to risk? Are they going to risk losing people, places, or things, or having that altered in their given circumstances as they step into their more authentic self, while at the same time showing that balance and give and take between their, discernment and experience, but also, how do I say this, tamed and untamed aspects of themselves, right? There's something to that. Oh, wow, this is exactly what I was saying. Okay. So we have the Eight of Cups here, which says departure. So I'm really obsessed with this because this is also shown with the dragonfly, which is about like an Ace of Swords energy, about discerning the truth amidst, possible deception or misunderstanding, right? But the Eight of Cups is leaving one set of emotions for emotions that will feel definitely a lot, how do I say this better? Because if you think about what comes after the Eight of Cups, it's the Nine of Cups, which is wish fulfillment and having a lot of a good thing, right? So the fact that you are being asked to really step into and sit with why you are here and what is your point of service to the world, how are you going to leave your part of the world better than how you found it? What aspects of yourself can you allow others and yourself to be seen and appreciated and known? Right? That's what I feel like the Eight of Cups is saying here. It's also, okay, I want to talk about the other side of wish fulfillment for a moment, because I'm feeling like Aquarius energy too, like wish fulfillment, okay? Feeling it. What people don't normally talk about when it comes to wish fulfillment, right? Because I'm picking up like the star energy here. The other side of wish fulfillment is that getting what you want or getting something that you never even could have dreamed of that's so amazing does require sacrifice, right? Because to get what you want requires you to either leave behind something else or spend less time with something else. It requires you to work through fear because, and this is just how it is, oftentimes when we get exactly what we want or even something that we didn't even know that we wanted, we are immediately faced with that thief of joy monster, which is that fear that steps in that goes, oh my God, what if I lose it? Oh my God, I got this thing, I got this person, I got this opportunity. Oh my God, what if I lose it? I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to mess it up. Brene Brown, in her book Daring Greatly, speaks about this very thing. I would definitely recommend reading that if you feel so called. It's this aspect of like, it's like a branch off of self-sabotage, right? You're being asked to be still for a moment amidst all this incoming new energy and opportunity and just really check in with yourself as well and just go, okay. Because you also have, and I'm so obsessed with this, the ace. The ace. So you know how this says enchantment here? This is the Ace of Wands, by the way. It says enchantment here. And I really, really love this is coming up. You have the Ace of Wands to clarify the Knight of Wands. So this is big energy. This is big inspiration. This is passion. This is desire. This is heading down your given road of something that feels very right for and within you. But this is also a bit of look at the dual reality here. There's what's above the surface and what's beneath this. Can you see that? What's beneath the surface. Grounding yourself before you move forward, right? But also, look at this moon here. I'm so obsessed. There's a duality here, right? And a flip screen and a flip side of it. Then you have the head down and how it appears from this aspect, right? You're being asked to really look at this within and around yourself. I feel like this can also extend to the people in your circle and going, okay, this is what they're saying, but this is what I'm picking up empathically. Okay, this is what they're doing, but this is what it, really feels like to me. They're saying this, but I'm feeling this. There's something about that for you as well. And I'm not saying that it's negative. Okay, literally, I split this deck and got enchantment. And you just got enchantment here. So that's a double trouble. We're going to take that. But yeah, there really is this opportunity here before you. And I'm, just putting it out there. I do feel like this is encompasses a larger stretch of time than just the second half of September. But I do feel like this time is, oh my God, I almost missed that. Half mermaid, half human. Half wolf, half human. Werewolf. Half mermaid, half human. I mean, domesticated and not. Like, I can't with this. It's way too good. I'm so obsessed with this. You know what? I actually want to get one of these Earth Magic. Whoa. When I think about the sirens as well, because it's mermaid, but I also think of the sirens whenever I see this, the enchantment key. The sirens, were known for having men completely forget their senses and actually be lured by song to their death. So it was like they weren't themselves when they heard the song, and they would just complete the most primal aspects of themselves, and it ended up leading them to their death. But we can look at that as a symbol and as a metaphor as well, and saying that it was really just a symbol for transformation and heeding the call. Good Lord, Sagittarius. What is happening? Love it. Okay. I love this so much. By the way, I can't. Okay. So dance, celebration. I mean, just take a moment and just imagine what I'm going to say about this, because I can't. I literally can't. First of all, she is outside and dancing like no one is watching. She is dancing, and I'm not sure anyone is watching except us. There's no one in the background. She is literally barefoot, living her life, and just, what is this called? There's a term for it. I think it's actually in the Women Who Run with Wolves. It's that level of divine ecstasy, divine bliss, where she's just like, yes, I'm doing me, right? Dance, celebration. I'm so obsessed with this. I do feel like, as a final note, you are going to be calling in some new friends, new soul tribe members, new teachers, actually. And some of you guys are being asked to be a teacher as well. Tsunami wake-up call. This was on the bottom. I do feel like for you guys, this is a note from Spirit about the full moon here. Wake-up call. Heeding the call. Remember what I said about heeding the call with the siren? Woohoo! Sagittarius, this made my day and my life. So thank you for that. This is your second half of September general reading here. I so hope that this helped and resonated. If so, please let me know in the comments below. I absolutely love reading your comments more than anything. It's what I live for. It's so good. And also just thank you. Thank you for being here as always. I appreciate every single one of y'all. And as always, thank you for being you, and be well. Until next time.